today to be chatting with Liesl Kruger. She is part of the Red Path and Vision Quest in South Africa, and we're going to be finding out a little bit more from her behind the scenes and what is makes the Red Path so special in South Africa. So Liesl, hi, thank you for being with us today.
Hi, thank you very much.
And so tell us, what is your background that has brought you to this path of the Red Path?
Well, it's a long story, but I'll give you guys a summary. So I used to be very much in the corporate world. I worked as a tax lawyer, believe it or not, for many years. And even though I was very successful in my job, I always felt that something was missing. I wasn't completely fulfilled. So I started like putting out feelers and attended many courses and retreats. And then I was very lucky to encounter the Path of the Medicine, and specifically a sweat lodge that I participated in. And the sweat lodge is one of the sacred ceremonies of the Red Path. So after that, I kept on going to sweat lodges because I really enjoyed it a lot. And then, well, as I say, one thing led to another. And I discovered the Vision Quest, and I completed my Vision Quest. And it was really one of the most profound things I've ever done for myself, and completely changed my life. Got me pretty much out of corporate. And yeah, I feel like I really have the balance now that I enjoy in my life and that I was always looking for.
Thank you. That sounds like an interesting journey. And so what exactly is this Red Path?
Well, the Red Path, people often speak about the Red Path or the Red Road. It's actually really a way of living, I would say. It's not some mysterious thing. It's really a way of living. So when we are on the Red Path, it's really a way to live in the best way that you possibly can, to take much care of what you do, much care of what you say. But more than anything, it is to honor and respect all our relations. And with all our relations, it's not only human beings. We really respect all our relations, whether it's four-legged, two-legged, the winged ones. We respect nature. We respect Mother Earth more than anything, with a lot of gratitude and a lot of respect. So when we say that someone's on the Red Road, it means, or the Red Path, it really means that someone is living a life in this way, by living a life full of gratitude, full of respect, full of honoring everything that is around us, honoring life more than anything.
Okay, great. Thank you. That sounds like a good path. And can you tell me a bit more about the lineage that you follow?
Yes, so of course, there are many different lineages of the Red Road, many tribes that follow this way of life. But the lineage that I follow and that we have here in South Africa and that I'm trained in is called the Sacred Fire of Itsatslatlan. And the headquarters, if one can call it headquarters, but our chief, Aurelio Diaz-Tec Pancali, is based in Mexico. And so this is the lineage that we follow. So with this lineage, in this way, comes the Vision Quest, the Sweat Lodge, other sacred ceremonies of the lineage, and also the sacred dances. So it's very important to have a lineage, to follow a lineage, because often as humans, we think that we can somehow reinvent something or do it better or put our own imprint on it. But what is really special about a lineage is it superseded all of our existence with the ceremonies and the designs of the ceremonies, the Vision Quest. So it is something that many of our ancestors followed. It is something that was given to us in a way by spirit. And that is why it is so important to follow a lineage and to be trained in a lineage, because it is really necessary. And it keeps us very much full of respect and full of humility for the lineage.
Thank you. That is very interesting. And can you tell me a bit more about the Vision Quest that you've spoken of?
Yes, so the Vision Quest is one of the most important ceremonies of the lineage and of the Red Road in general. So the Vision Quest has its origin in the Native American way, really, like the Lakota people, for example. They used to do these Vision Quests especially when the men came of age, the young boys, and they would go into into a secluded place in nature and spend 4 days and 4 nights on their own in a confined space. And, you know, the word vision quest sort of evolved from this, because this is where these guys like cried out for a vision. So very often the spirit animals would appear to you, or like insights for your life, or you get a vision for the purpose of your life. So in our lineage, you commit basically to 4 vision quests in your lifetime. The first one is 4 days, then 7 days, then 9 days, then 13 days. And it's a very beautiful design. And of course, each of those numbers has a very significant meaning to it, 4, 7, 9, 13. And each of the years also links to the direction, and a color. So for example, if you're praying for 4 days, your prayer really is for humility, and your direction in this lineage is east, and the color is red. So when we do 4 days, we have this prayer of humility in our hearts. And for 4 days and 4 nights, we don't partake in any food or water. So it's very important, like when your body is very clean of food and water, you can almost achieve an altered state. And that's where the beautiful visions come in. And 7 days is the color yellow. And in this lineage, we pray to the south for 7 days. And 9 days is associated with the color black, and 13 days with the color white. It's a bit like an onion with many layers. You know, it's almost like also linked to the medicine wheel that is very present in many shamanic cultures. It's really like peeling the layers of an onion. So when we do this vision quest, whether you do 4, 7, 9, and 13, the first 4 days always without food or water. And after 4 days, you will receive support. So the vision quest for me is a very profound experience, because it is an opportunity to get to know yourself, because it's an opportunity to be alone with yourself. And people often say, oh, I love being alone. But I tell you, in the world that we live in, we are never really alone, because we are always with someone, or we watch TV, or we're on our devices a lot of the time. So to be alone with yourself in nature is a very powerful experience, because so many emotions and feelings come up that you have to surpass on your own. So that makes it such a powerful thing. And also, like I said, the opportunity to get to know yourself, because we, especially in our Western lives, we are somehow a little bit addicted to being busy, and we never have time for ourselves. And we never have time for introspection, and we never have time to illuminate all the areas of our lives, especially the ones that we don't care to look at in our lives, because some of our emotions and feelings towards other people, we don't like that so much. So we don't want to look at it. But when you have this time that you can gift yourself to be alone, and these things come up, it's a very beautiful opportunity to process all these feelings. And another thing is, you know, we also live in a life of very much instant gratification. We're all somehow trapped in the consumer world, and we want something now. And here you have to be for 4 days before you can receive food or water. So it's a very beautiful lesson in gratitude and in patience, because you have to wait it out.
That sounds very interesting. Thank you very much for sharing. And if somebody's interested in this but doesn't feel quite ready to quest, can you still be part of this experience?
Yes, definitely. You can be part of the experience even if you don't want to quest. The Vision Quest is very much supported by a big group of people, and we call it the support group. So we have a really big support camp down here, and many people who don't feel ready to join the Vision Quest to climb the mountain like to be part of the support. And the support is equally important, because we need the supporters, because without the supporters, the Vision Quest can't flow as smoothly as it can. So the support group is responsible for keeping the camp, preparing the sweat lodges for the questers. But also what is very beautiful is every morning and every evening at sunrise and sunset, all the supporters sing songs. We all gather and we sing songs that the Vision Questers can hear in the mountain. So it's a very beautiful message to them to say we are here and you are held, and we pray for those people for 13 days and 13 nights. There's also the Vision Quest fire that burns for 13 days and 13 nights. So the supporters also take care of the fire. So the support group is a very beautiful experience to get a taste of this lineage, to experience the Red Path in this way, and to be of service. And it's very important because the people that support might be the people climbing next year, and then the roles are reversed. So in this way, we really support and hold each other on this journey.
That sounds really incredible. Thank you. And what is the type of person, or who is the kind of person that would come to something like this Vision Quest?
Well, I would say anyone could benefit from it. Some people are really scared, and sometimes it's really good to do something, even though you're scared, to have the courage to do it. But I really see and I feel that people are searching for something, especially since the pandemic. People really feel more lost, I think, than ever. And people feel anxious and worried about the state of the world and about everything that's happening and the fast-paced lives that we're living and the financial pressures that we're under. So if you want to go back to the simplicity of everything and just find again that calmness and the reassurance that everything's okay, because everything we need is in nature. And somehow we have disconnected ourselves so much from nature. And this is part of the reason why people struggle so much. Many people don't ever get into nature. They live in cities, they go back to a city, and then maybe they go to a shopping mall. So we forget that we are part of nature. We are nature. And all the answers that we need and all the questions about our purpose in life and all the healing that we need for our wounds, that's in nature. So this Vision Quest is a very powerful opportunity to be alone with nature, because when we listen to nature, nature will speak to us. And all the answers that we seek, we can find there on the mountain and in nature. And we can remember that we are part of this beautiful creation. We are part of the rocks, we are part of the trees, we are part of all the little creatures that exist in nature. And yes, so I would say the type of person could be anyone, but especially those people that are seeking for more purpose, for more calmness, for more peace, and to be part of a very beautiful community. And it's not only a South African community. The Vision Quest is happening in Europe, in many countries in Europe, in South America, in Mexico, in North America. So it's literally a worldwide family that we are creating, like a worldwide tribe. And in this way, we also helps us to remember that there's nothing really that separates us. We are truly all the same. We all want the same things, and we all yearn for the same things in our lives. And to be part of something global is also a beautiful way to walk in this path, even though we are here in South Africa, in such a remote place of the world, actually.
Yeah, wow, that is amazing. And is there an age limit for people to join?
There is no age limit. What we have is there's like the Vision Quest, which is like, let's just say the normal or the adult Vision Quest, which is 4, 7, 9, 13 days. But then there's also a children's quest. And for the children, it's first they start with 1 night, then 2 nights, then 3 nights, then 4 nights. So the children's Vision Quest, the 4-night equivalent is more or less the equivalent of 13 days for an adult. So there's no age limit. I'd say for the children that we've had up the mountain, it's sort of 8 or 9 years. And it's very beautiful to watch these children being committed to something so beautiful, because they also have to prepare and they also have to have the intention for themselves. And speaking of children, I always say to people, it's so beautiful to bring your children to the ceremonies, because this is what we want to teach our children. Rather than knowing how to operate an iPhone or Apple TV or something. This is what children need, instead of being entertained with devices or medicated because they don't have attention spans. And for adults, no age limit. It's not a prerequisite that you do the children's quest, but anyone from 16 upwards. One of my Vision Quests that I attended in Brazil, a lady of 72 years old, started with her 4 days. So it's open to anyone. And one more thing about the Vision Quest, it's not a religion. It's not an organized religion. So it is really open to anyone of any religion, because as I said before, the biggest teacher, the biggest manifestation of creation is nature. That's where we see the creator, and that's where we can meet the creator.
Yes, that does sound very profound. And what would your advice be to anyone considering to join the Vision Quest?
I would say that it is something that you need to be called for, because our intention is important with why we go up the mountain. So for example, if you see this as just another thing that you can tick off and say that you did, and if it comes from a place of ego that you want to do this, or because your friends did it, or because you feel you should to put it on your CV, it's probably not for you. But if you are seeking something and you want to grow as a person in a very authentic and organic way, then if it speaks to you, the call of the mountain, then I would say you are right for it. And advice, if you feel that call, do not let fear get in the way of climbing the mountain, because very often the biggest things we undertake in our lives are preceded by fear and anxiety. And that's really, I believe, where we need to have the courage to do this, because if you hear the call, we feel it first here in our hearts, and then our minds start thinking of a million reasons why it's not a good idea. And we start thinking, oh, we're going to die after 4 days of water, or we're going to, no, we're not. So it's important to realize that sometimes the sacrifices that we make physically is a way to gain so much on a spiritual level. And when we go through these hardships, we really grow as people. And it's a joyful thing. It's not to sit there and suffer for 4, 7, 9, or 13 days. It's a gift that you give yourself. It's not like, oh, I've got to endure this. Yes, of course you get hungry, of course you get thirsty, but it's an opportunity to go beyond, because we also need to realize as human beings that we can do much more than we think we can, because our lives are very easy. Our lives are very soft. You know, we don't have to do anything really, most of us. Everything that we need is available in a shop or on a computer or something. So if you want to be more in a way than you are today, I would say listen to your heart and listen to the call.
Thank you. And then do you have dates for next year's Vision Quest?
Yes, the Vision Quest. So we have the Vision Quest in Africa, which is the only place on the African continent that the Vision Quest happens. And it is on a private farm about an hour from Cape Town. And the dates for next year, for 2025, is 19 April to 4 May. So we start the Vision Quest with a big ceremony on the 19th of April. And the following day, all the questers, regardless of whether you do 4, 7, 9, and 13 days, they get planted in their places in the mountain, where they stay for their 4, 7, 9, 13 days until they are collected. So on the 4th of May, we will collect the 13-day questers, and the Vision Quest closes again with another very beautiful closing ceremony. So 19 April to 4 May 2025.
Great. That sounds exciting. Thank you very much for your time and sharing your insights with this very interesting path, and I wish you much success.
Thank you very much.